What is up? My name is Craig, and this is Pancake Marathon, where you don't have to really do this alone, and neither do I. Yet, essentially, what's your flavor of recovery? Everyone has a different flavor of recovery, and essentially, this is kind of just about how I carry a message, through my experience, strength, and hope. I am not qualified to be a face of any recovery program. And this, in and of itself, is just my message because I do have something to offer. And yet, here we are today, within itself, simply to say, because maybe we showed up for the miracle today. Maybe we're just getting started. And yet, it's okay because everyone is at a different level of their recovery and a different place in their life. And that's okay because it's always about meeting somewhere where they're at. And yet, welcome to Pancake Marathon, where essentially here I'm active part of my recovery, and that's really what it's about, essentially. So there's a point where it's like, essentially, I how do I put this? How do I put this to where I can have some absolute moment of clarity? And I think the easiest, simple way of having a moment of clarity, because isn't that what recovery is really all about? Is clarity upon itself, just to get some peace of mind? I think it's essential to say the set aside prayer. Essentially, you know, dear God, please set aside everything I think I know about myself, this book, my disease, and these steps, and especially about you, dear God, so that I may have an open mind and a new experience with all of these things. Please help me to see the truth. And that's essentially what recovery is all about. You know, don't get hung up on the word God, because that's just, in the sense of what recovery jargon or lingo and all of itself is just essentially your peace of mind. That's how I carry a message of itself, of what God can be to me. And essentially because I know that there's points to where we're so easily able to judge something unworthy, to where we get so angry and upset because it comes down to, I don't like what they have to say. Maybe, just maybe, they are the ones that are the best teacher for you being that student at that moment. To let that hurt go, to let all of that just in that moment, to take that weight off of your shoulder, to take that rock out of your pocket. It's like you don't have to carry this weight. And you do, but you don't have to. You really don't. You don't have to do anything. It's essentially changing the way that you look at something. That's one of the values, in a sense, of saying that recovery has brought to me. And yeah, it's a spiritual, nature upon itself and approach. Yeah, because, as you may hear in recovery, it's a spiritual program, not religious. And it's for that, in a simple way of saying that, it's up to you. How are you going to find, your flavor of recovery, essentially. And I don't know. Like, there's moments where for the past couple of days, in a sense of saying that I'm not sure what I want to write about in my blog, in a sense of saying about, that one of my goals within doing this is maybe per se to put a book together, essentially in the theme of a daily reflection or a daily reprieve or something that you can read daily, in a sense. I'm not sure at this point. It doesn't even matter if that does happen or if it doesn't happen. It's just about showing up and seeing how I have a peace of mind today. And that is the beautiful fact of life, that I get to have a peace of mind today. That I'm not judging things so unworthy because somehow I'm angry and I'm asking for help. Because I get the, the simple fact that everyone is asking for help. They really, really are. They may not just know how, right? And it might not seem appropriate. And essentially pick your battles, right? In a sense of saying. And I realize at the same time, when we're at the weakest, that is where we find who we really are. Losing yourself is something, well, so magical. It really does have something of a pure nature to itself, because we get to find a peace of mind that whatever that was, in recovery jargon, you're stinking thinking, right? The way that you thought before. Maybe it was your philosophy. Maybe it was your religion. Maybe whatever it may be, into whatever, field of, whatever it may be, all of those things and maybe more. But it simply comes down to that hurt. You asking for help. Don't think you don't, you don't have to do this alone, essentially. You can ask for help in all ways that you are capable of doing, because that's what recovery is all about. It's about finding you and why you have this hurt and being able to let go of itself. It's that's what life is about. You experiencing your ability to find yourself, regardless of what level of your understanding and interpretation of what life can be about. It's finding that love, finding that why of you can love yourself today. Don't attempt to figure out the incomprehensible things of your nature and of reality, of society, of just everything that can be so daunting and hurtful to you. Because sometimes that's all you do is you're hurting, and then you're echoing that out, essentially, within your own echo chamber, asking for somebody to just help you out of Plato's cave that you're in. It's okay, but it's really about finding that love, that harmony and kindness and compassion for yourself. Because sometimes, from a religious standpoint, it's you're waiting for somebody to come save you, right? And that's why it's so daunting through the ideologies of and the dogma of religion, that you're waiting for somebody to come save you. And it doesn't matter what you do, because you're in a fear-based mode of doing the right thing because you're in fear of going to hell, right? And so I find that funny when, just when you ask an atheist, essentially, why are you doing this? Well, it's because it's the right thing. You have somebody that's in a religion-based kind of approach, and they'll say, oh, because I don't want to go to hell. Oh, because this other thing is going to, I'm going to be punished because of this other thing. And it's like, oh, so essentially you're doing it because you want to get something out of it, because you're in fear. And it's just, I don't know, it's funny. And that's why I love about the whole spiritual based program of recovery. Essentially finding a way, getting your voice back. Maybe for the first time you're able to have a voice. Maybe for the first time you're able to let go of that hurt. Yet some need that approach where this is going to kill you. And some just need that it's going to be okay. You don't have to kill yourself anymore approach. But it's about finding your approach to having a little peace of mind, maybe just for that moment, to be able to say, hey, I don't have to add hurt just because I'm hurting. But I do know that is what life is about. Finding a way into loving yourself again. Knowing that you don't have to do this alone. That, scientifically speaking, there's this aspect of mirror neurons where we get to reflect actions based around everyone or every interaction that we have all around us, every moment, every single aspect of life. Yeah, sometimes it's a season. Sometimes it's a phase. Sometimes it's just a moment of reprieve, of gaining a lesson through reflection upon just finding your peace of mind. Recovery, any words upon itself, when you aren't learned and you have not studied, and you don't know how it can be applied, and you don't know how to practice this, all these principles in all your affairs. It's like, it's okay to not be okay, but it's never okay to add hurt because you're not okay. That's what the power of recovery is about. Being able to trust, being able to carry a message, being able to practice something. Because right now, this hurt. Can you really absolutely say, in a certain degree, that this hurt is perfection? I mean, yes, making progress, you can reach perfection with ease and grace. Yet, if you're hurting, is it really perfect? I mean, you can always find the silver lining in things, okay, right? Like saying, okay, today, in each moment, in each area of my life, I'm gonna find grace, and I'm gonna be as humble, humility, joy, to learn this lesson as quickly as possible. Yet simply to say, can you really feel perfect if you're hurting? From a spiritual standpoint of, and from the sense of a science jargon, lingo of their slogan of energy's everything and energy can't be destroyed, it can just change form. Well, that simply says everything that has ever been is still in existence. And maybe energy isn't appropriate for you at this moment. It doesn't relate. It doesn't hold anything of value because you're judging it unworthy, right? It has too much hurt. Okay, because science has let you down. Okay, and maybe religion has let you down. So faith, which can be simultaneous, parallel with energy, faith, hope, future. All those four things are the same thing. Truly, truly can be. Yet it's about letting that hurt go. It's about laying down the rocks, the stones, this weight, this baggage, and just seeing this moment as beautiful. The hurt, this forest that you planted, the garden of your life is just okay that it's all there. Yet I get to, you get to, we get to, because you don't have to do this alone. Zen your garden, as I like to say it, which in a sense of saying it's the same thing as clean your side of the street, keep your house in order. Overall, though, it simply comes down to, what's your flavor of recovery today, in this moment? Not everyone has the ability to walk away happy. Yet, how does everyone able to have the experience of walking away happy? Don't have expectations. Don't have demands. Don't judge everything unworthy. Just learn what you can learn. And see it as it is just what it is. You don't have to give it a name. You don't have to change it. In every moment, you don't have to do that. You get to have your peace of mind. You get to find some serenity, some sanity, some harmony, kindness, and love for yourself, and compassion, because that hurt, it's real. Those feelings, they're real. Yet, reacting, essentially, in a moment of, just a simple example of, your sadness does not justify you going and using, you going and adding hurt, you going and stealing someone else's peace of mind because somehow someone stole yours / you gave it away, right? That's why a foundation's everything. Finding a way to have this aspect of, stop trying to understand the incomprehensible, right? Start finding a way to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. The love, kindness, harmony, finding love for yourself and everything that you do have to offer, because your shoes do fit just right. You do deserve to find harmony and to take up space. It's up to you. You don't have to do this alone. You never really did before. But it was easier just to push everybody away and to find an easy way out, a cop out, right? Oh, I got drunk last night. Oh, I lost my phone. Oh, it's blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, that's cool. Well, that was then, and it's about how you finished, not how you started. So now what are you gonna do? Now how are you gonna show up in your life to see exactly how you can set things aside and talk and attempt to reach perfection today. Make a like heaven on earth, and because you've been making a like heaven, or you've been making a like hell on earth. So how has that been working for you? For real. How has that been working for you? You know, just and just food for thought right there. It can seem bad and it can seem good, but really it is just what it is. But honestly, finding that love and compassion for yourself, being able to carry a message, having trust in something that you can understand, a higher power, some HP never hurt anybody, right? I'm just saying, higher perspective, higher personality, higher person, higher practice of, being a more evolved or whatever it may be. It doesn't even matter. That's not the point. Call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Because maybe you're having a challenge with finding a God of your own understanding. Maybe borrow mine for a bit. Unconditional love, simply to say, is what it is, without expectations. Just showing up because I know I have value, but I also know I have hurt, and I don't need to add hurt to others, because I know that it's about me practicing the principles in all my affairs, not promoting everyone else to do it. It's about attraction. It's about being a leader, because I am only a trusted servant. I have nothing more when I'm hurt to offer. And yes, there are points where when I do get to govern myself, no one else, how will I? How will I act? Maybe today I messed up. And maybe tomorrow I will too. Who knows? I don't, don't future trip, because what has that ever got me? And going into depression, casting myself into depression because I was future tripping into anxiety, and instead of just being in the now moment, the moment of manifestation, the God moment, the power moment, the now moment. So essentially, I say it's okay. I love myself today, and that's pretty great to say. If you could see me smiling, maybe hear my voice, hey, maybe that's the worst thing you have going on today, that you missed the other moments of your life, yet today you get to be part of it. How will you? It's up to you. Thank you. Now, essentially, this next part, because yes, we concluded the podcast and all that good stuff, and usually, like I like to end the podcast with, is hopefully I lined something up for somebody today, because I know I showed up and I feel like I lined it up for myself. That's a true secret of recovery, that being of service, because ultimately I'm not using, and that is the absolute, in a sense of saying, a sponsorship. Why a sponsor loves to sponsor. Yes, it's about carrying a message and all that good stuff. But in all actuality, you're helping me more than I'm helping you. It might seem that I'm helping you way more, but no, that's not true. It can be. I'm not saying it can't, right? Because everyone is at a different level of their recovery, and yet essentially you're helping me more than I'm helping you. And I might not ever be able to see you, but just know you're my hero. Because some never get to know that someone's their hero, and some never get to say that to them. But that doesn't make it where it's not true. And in parts of itself, a thank you is probably the simplest way of calling someone a hero. So thank you. Because right now I want to thank you for being my hero. Because you really are. Thank you for helping me in ways that I don't know and I may never see. And that's okay because it's okay. I get to do this today. I get to be part of my life in this way. I get to, per se, maybe just line something up for somebody to where they're able to hear whatever they're able to hear. Maybe listening is better for you because that's how you associate hearing, and you associate hearing as listening. Yet I know myself that I associate listening to hearing, and listening is just waiting for the elevator doors to open. Essentially, your cue just to react, to be unjustified in your actions, to add hurt, to use, to be busy. Yet, essentially, it's okay because this is my recovery. This is how I'm going to do it. This is a spiritual program. This spiritual life. So I don't have to do it like you. But at the same time, I don't have to be so rigid and religious to act like you get to talk like me because I know everything. Because I don't. I just, today, this is mine today. This is my moment. This is my season. Maybe this is just a phase. Maybe I'm entering a new one. Maybe I'm still in the same one. Maybe the miracle is still happening. And that's why I keep showing up. But anywho, overall, hopefully I line something up for somebody today. Because why not? You know? And hopefully, what I really, hopefully, you find something that requires you to keep coming back. Find that unity, that harmony, kindness, and compassion for yourself, that love. Because, well, what else is there other than that, you know? Because, you can hate something, but you're loving to hate it, simply to say. And overall, though, it comes down to this simple fact that I love you. You made it this far, and your shoes do fit just right. You do deserve to take up space. Find something that requires you to keep coming back because you get to line things up for yourself today. Finding a peace of mind, serenity, all that kind of thing. And yet, simply to say, this next part, the song that comes, is kind of how I feel about recovery. And maybe this can line something up for you today too. And maybe help, hopefully leading you to lead yourself into loving yourself, and that of finding your peace of mind again, maybe for the first time, maybe finding your voice for the first time. I love you and thank you. Have a beautiful one.
I'll follow you wherever you go. Stay close to you, 'cause darling, you're my home.